So click on um, I've unmuted it. Yes. Hello? Can you hear me? Okay.
First, just say, someone.
Hello. You can hear me.
You just mute that speaker.
Okay, email is a In the camera. Second presentation, renaming it to second presentation. No, I'm just renaming this one to second presentation. Just. Then. Safe. No, I think this. We are starting.
Hello, everyone. I think this is the 5th time I'm greeting you. So this is the final start of the program. And Lisa, and I work at the Center for Postgraduate Studies as a lecturer there. I work with an incredible team under the leadership of Postgraduate, Moderebo. You will see some of them, they are outside, but we have Spogazi, we have Shiloh, we have SA2 who are standing next to me, and we have Professor Sumakena who is on sabbatical. So this is not the official welcome, but to just pass my greetings. Particularly, we have the Vice Chancellor with us today, Moral Prof. And we have the DVC, we have some deans, as well as heads of specific important officers when it comes to postgraduate engagement, support, and development. So today's program is called Hey Postgrad, Are You Connected? This idea came from a postgraduate SRC member. The year was 2022, where we spoke about a collaboration to ensure that we offer an orientation program for postgraduate students at Rhodes University. From then, it became an annual thing where we host an entire program, be it as a short course or be it as a program that is comprised of many workshops that we're going to show you at the end of today. So this is a big collaboration with us as the Center for Postgraduate Studies, as well as the SRC of 2025, under the leadership of Tembelani. You will see him, he's a very busy young man. He's always running up and down. So he was involved in the planning of this project. But without wasting any time, to start us off, we have a welcoming address from one of the people I regard as my mentors, Dr. Mzilikazi, who is the DVC here at Rhodes University of Research. She's going to be doing the welcoming address for us. Over to you, Doc.
Hello, good afternoon. Hi. Bolweni, good afternoon. Can you hear me? Okay, my name is Kwezi Legazi, as Asipe has said. I am the Deputy Vice Chancellor responsible for research, innovation, and strategic partnerships here at our university where leaders learn. However, the Vice Chancellor is here, and it would be most inappropriate for me to just launch into a speech without inviting my leader to come and say a few words. I'm giving you 2 minutes of my time, so I'm not going to impact all your people.
Thank you very much, DVC. Asipe, the director of the Center for Postgraduate Studies, that's the director. I hadn't planned anything, and I therefore have to say as little as possible. First thing, one message that I really want you to take away: you matter. You matter at Rhodes University. You are very much part of our vision as an institution. We are committed to providing you with all the support you need to produce new knowledge or to apply old knowledge in new settings. We have committed in our institutional development plan that we want to be a postgraduate university with a strong undergraduate pipeline. We want to increase the proportion of our postgrad students, and that will be an important distinguishing factor. We want that to be a way in which we distinguish ourselves from all the other universities in this country. We have an outstanding leader in our DVC Research, Innovation and Strategic Partnerships, Dr. Legacy. We really could not have asked for a better person to be in charge. She cares about each and every one of you. We are aware of many challenges that confront postgraduate students. And working together with you and the director and all the other leaders in the university, we really want you to have a wonderful experience when you're doing a master's. By the time you graduate, you shall have published at least 2 papers. And by the time you complete your PhD, you shall have published 3 papers, and the 4th one will be in preparation. Because knowledge generation and advancement is at the core of who we are as a university. So thank you for coming this afternoon. You will be exposed to a number of services that are available to support you. You know why? Because you matter. But one thing that you should always keep in mind, because there are many distractions, right? The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. Yes? You are here to, we normally said you read for a degree. You don't study for a degree, you read for it, particularly at master's and doctoral level. The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. Thank you very much.
This is a challenge. I wish I could figure out how to fit it. I think I will. Yes,
It's perfect.
yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Nell. Okay, so I've eaten into quite a bit of the time that I was allocated, so I will try and not speak for too long. So in thinking about what I would share with you this afternoon, I reflected on what I wish I would have known when I started my postgraduate degree. Can I just get a show of hands who are doing their masters? First year masters. Okay, second year masters? No, first year PhD? Oh, okay, mostly honors then. Honors? Kanti, what's everyone else doing? What's going on here now? Honors? Nothing. Okay, a few. Masters? First year? Second year? Okay, first year PhD? Okay, all right. So there's quite a bit of a mix. I had made the assumption that I would be speaking to masters and PhD students, but we welcome our honors students. This is the beginning of the postgraduate pipeline. Those who have heard me speak before will know that I often say, consider staying until you have your red gown. Just like you would never leave school without finishing your matric, don't leave the university without getting your red gown, right? Otherwise you drop out. Then you wouldn't drop out before matric, so don't drop out before your PhD. Okay, so 30 years ago when I was doing, when I entered postgrad, was it 30 years? Thereabouts. I think I only knew the vice chancellor. I didn't know who else was the university leadership because they were quite far removed. So one of the things I love about Rhodes University is how accessible everybody is. And so this is the university leadership. You know your vice chancellor on the left-hand side there. You know Professor Monapula Mapesela, the Deputy Vice Chancellor responsible for academic and student affairs. And I am now hoping you are going to get to know your Deputy Vice Chancellor responsible for research, innovation, and strategic partnerships, because postgraduate studies fall under this portfolio. We also have Professor Adele Moodley, bottom left, our registrar, and we are ably supported by the Chief Financial Officer, the money man, Mr. Kamlesh Riga, our CFO, on the right-hand side. So that is the management of the university. You know the university well. I think I'm going to make an assumption that most of you did your undergrad here. Am I correct? Yes, so you know? Okay, so for those of you who are joining Rhodes University for the first time this year, welcome, very warm welcome to the city of donkeys and potholes. We are a fantastic research-intensive university, the only one that is outside of an urban setting in South Africa. All of the other research-intensive universities are in the big cities. So we are the villages that punch way above our weight. We have 6 faculties, as most of you know, commerce, education, humanities, law, science, and pharmacy. We also have quite a healthy ecosystem of research excellence here that has got research chairs, research entities, departments, and the amazing thing about that is we have the highest concentration of research chairs in the nation. You know, so these are a group of highly regarded researchers that are based here in Makanda. We have 42 academic departments, 47 degree offerings that we have, 14 postgraduate diplomas, 2 diplomas, and 2 certificates. We also have around 105 at any one time, between 105 and 110 rated researchers. Again, this is another indicator of research standing. So when we say we're a research intensive university, there are certain markers or indicators that point to being research intensive. We also have a very socially engaged citizenry at the university, and the activities of our colleagues at community engagement assist us be firmly rooted in place and be firmly rooted in our community. So these are some of the statistics around our graduations. This is a snapshot from 2023. Of course, it will vary from year to year, but this is us. We are hoping to grow the university to about 9,500 students by 2028. Okay, so we often say this is Rhodes University where leaders learn. And when I joined the university not so long ago, about 20 months ago, my family would always say, so who are the leaders? The leaders, who are they? Who are these leaders? And so I thought I'd just highlight some of them here. Bottom left, you would know who that is, right? The Minister of Basic Education, a proud alumnus of Rhodes University. Bottom center, though I don't think you guys were around when we used to watch Gem Ellie. Do you know Gem Ellie? Your parents watched Gem Ellie, I'm sure. Right? So they would say top center, top right, bottom center, bottom right, middle center. So bottom center there is Mr. Sim Chabalala. Do you know who that is? He's the CEO of Standard Bank. Yes, he's also a very proud Rhodes alumnus. And Eusebius Makaiser, you will remember from radio, SAFM. Yes, he passed away, unfortunately, a few years ago, but very, very illustrious alumnus of our university. Dr. Alistair Mukwenda, former head of Google SA. Yeah, Mr. Bruce Whitfield, who's still on radio, and Mr. Fortune Sibanda, who is the head of TikTok. Okay, they're all Rhodes University graduates. Okay, so when you say you're at a place where leaders learn, we have the goods to back it up. Right, now what do we have by way, what are the goods we have in the way of our research and innovation ecosystem? So as I mentioned, we have research chairs, we have research units, we have research centers. In this very building where we are, we have research chairs, we have centers, we have units, we have centers of research excellence, research institutes, and about in excess of 35 academic departments, as well as support departments. So the system is very well set up. You will know that Rhodes University does not participate in university ranking systems. You know that, right? We don't say we are number 1 on the continent or number 10 in the world. We don't play that game. And there are very good academic reasons for why we don't play that game. However, we do play the global game, and we do want to be relevant. And so when we talk about Rhodes University, what are some of the things that we highlight about our university? These are by no means the only things that we highlight, but when it comes to research, we certainly punch above our weight in the area of water security, drugs, health and society, or drug discovery, formulation and diagnostics, nanotechnology innovation. You know that right next door, we've got the globally renowned Tebelo Nyokong Institute of Nanotechnology Innovation. Education for sustainable futures, where we concern ourselves with matters regarding education, all the way from early childhood development right through to higher education studies. And then rural ecologies, rural economies, and rural environments. These are some of our strengths at the university. The university itself has a compass, what they in some places call a strategic vision. This is the document that captures our dreams for ourselves as the university. I'm hoping all of you have seen at least the picture before. Yes, no? Okay, it's like the University Bible. If you are a Rhodes University student, you need to have read this document. It's not too big. It really talks to the heart of the place. It talks to the soul of the place. You know, when somebody says, what's this place really about? It's where you find it in this document. It's our institutional development plan. It is our plan from going from good to great. Right, within that plan, we've got 8 different goals, and the goals that relate to research are under goal number 4, or the objectives that relate to research are under goal number 4. Under that specific goal, and this is why I say you must read the document, because it really talks to what the university plans to do in the area of research between 2023 and 2028. There are 15 different objectives under that goal. So these are all the things that we must be held accountable and responsible for. You will see that of these 15 different objectives, 5 of them relate to postgraduate education. And that is because we are a research-intensive university, and one of the distinguishing characteristics of research-intensive universities are that they have a high proportion of postgraduate students. And that's why we want you to come, and we want you to stay a while at Rhodes University undertaking your studies. Where we have circled headcount enrollments for total postgrads, these are the enrollment targets for postgraduate education, honors, masters, and doctoral, and a few postgrad diplomas as well. So right now we're around 2025, so we're looking to have, of the 8,500 or so students at Rhodes University, about 2,500, we would hope, 2,700 rather, we would want them to be postgrads. We have been battling to meet our enrollment targets when it comes to postgrad, and this is not unique to our university. All the universities are really battling to attract postgrads. But Risi, I want to share with you that I've been keeping a very close eye on our honors enrollments for 2024. And the last time I checked, which was around last week, Wednesday, we were 68 students away from smashing our target. Right? I don't know if any of the students here were here in July 2023, but in August 2023, we had an event that we called Path to Postgraduate Studies, where we invited third-year students, and we said the hashtag would have been hashtag smash the targets. Do you remember that? Yeah, some of you do. So we are close. We are working hard. We know that one of the enablers for entry into postgraduate education is funding. So we are working very hard to unlock different funding opportunities for our students. Okay, so these were our enrollment targets for 2023. Just to give a sense, so the red numbers are basically by how much we missed those targets. So around 561 in total. This is where we're basically saying we still have got space. So if you've got friends, if you've got family, invite them to apply to Rhodes University, because there's space here for them. By faculty, commerce tends to do well in terms of meeting postgraduate targets, but there's definitely space for masters and PhDs in our science faculty, as well as in our humanities faculty. So if you've got friends in those areas of work, please invite them to come. I am not showing this only so that you can talk nicely about us when you talk to your friends, but I'm actually trying to drive home this idea that you actually belong to a very select group of people. Because when we look at the national context, of progression from undergraduate into honors degrees. Only 28% of all students enrolled in the system make it into postgrad studies. Yeah, so it's quite special. And then from honors to masters, only 26%. Masters to doctoral, only 16% of everybody doing their master's degree ultimately finds their way into doctoral studies. That's why I'm saying consider staying until you get that red degree. Because remember, as the VC said, higher education is the business of knowledge generation, right? And our country has determined that it wants to be a knowledge-driven economy. So it is the work that you do in your master's and doctoral studies that we hope will take this country forward. Yeah, so you are the next generation of knowledge generators. The average time to completion for honors degrees is about 3 years, right? Masters, not at Rhodes though. Masters and doctoral, it's 3, 5, and 7, which is very long, right? But the good news is at Rhodes University, we've got the best completion rates and the best throughput rates in the country. What does that mean? It means that at Rhodes University, you are likely to complete your studies and you're likely to complete them on time, which means we basically bring down those values to 1, 3, and 5. Okay, on average, 1, 3, and 5. So it will take you 1 year to do your master, your honors, 3 years max to do your master's, and 5 years max to do your PhD. Okay, so you finish early here. Minimum for PhD could be 3 years, and it's doable. Okay, but as my colleagues like to remind me, we're not running a sausage factory, right? So we don't just want you to come in here and come out the other end. There are certain skills that you need to get while you're here. Some of the key features of the national doctoral scene in South Africa is that typically our doctoral students start their PhDs at the age of 35, which is quite late in a way, but that's because about 60% of our doctoral students are actually studying part-time because they tend to work. Some of the main drivers of that pattern are that people start work and then it takes them longer because they're studying part-time. Okay, what are some of the key differences between your master's and doctoral degrees? I am going to ask Asipe that she shares this presentation with you so that I don't have to go through every single line on that table. But Perix, the most important thing that I want you to take out is the purpose of a master's degree, which is advanced research and specialized knowledge in a field. Whereas a PhD is about an original contribution to knowledge. An original contribution to knowledge through independent research. And then, of course, in terms of independence, you are supervised at the master's level with some guidance, but once you get into your PhD, you're highly independent with minimal supervision. And so today is also going to be about how do you navigate these 2 degrees given the differences in the range and the type of support that you will be receiving. Some of the issues that we know weigh heavily on your minds as postgrad students: financial support, supervision, coursework, assessment, writing support, software, equipment, field work, ethics, etc. You will hear about most of what's in that word cloud today. And so this will help you navigate your postgraduate journey, hopefully to keep those excellent completion times that here at Rhodes we are known for. I think perhaps one of the most important relationships that will be life defining for you is going to be the relationship that you have with your supervisor. Yeah, that can make or break you. So choose carefully. I'm sure you've already chosen if you've been accepted. You will receive, and also I think what's changed from the time I was a postgrad to now is that there's so much more support that is available to postgrads now than we had back in the day. So you would be mostly dependent on your supervisor, you would be the apprentice, and they would basically be transmitting all the knowledge that they have onto you. Whereas now, you will hear this afternoon about the range of opportunities for support so that you're not just dependent on your supervisor who may actually have 10 more students that they need to take care of. So you must understand that the ecosystem is much wider and it is geared and designed to support you to complete your studies. Okay, another important thing that I would like to mention is that don't just concern yourselves with the acquisition of in-depth disciplinary knowledge, but do worry about getting a broader range of transferable skills as well. Most postgraduates who obtain their master's and doctoral degrees end up not even working in the primary field where they obtained their PhDs or their masters because they have a range of other skills. So what are some of the few things that I would like you to keep your eye on as you go through your postgraduate journey? Keep an eye on your milestones. What do I mean by that? There are certain things that need to be done by specific times. Make sure that you have done your literature review. Make sure that you develop your proposal, especially if you're in master's and PhD, within the first 6 months of your registration. Make sure that you have a proposal and that it has served at the higher degrees committee. If you're going to work with people or animals, make sure that you have applied for your research ethics approval. Make sure that you've got your data collection or your field work lined up. Don't fall behind. It sometimes happens that if you are working in the field, sometimes it rains, sometimes it's too cold, sometimes there's a flood, and that may disrupt your project and your program. So getting started early and on time ensures that should there be circumstances that are beyond your control, you don't fall too far behind. Start thinking about what the Vice Chancellor mentioned, which is to publish and to publish early. Where I was trained, they often said, if it's worth doing, it's worth publishing. Otherwise, you're wasting time and you're wasting money. What is the point of undertaking research that you will not be disseminating and sharing in knowledge advancement? So do publish early and publish on time. The advantage of that is it puts you above the rest. If a funder is looking to fund someone for their PhD and there's someone who already published from their master's, they're almost guaranteed to get the funding over someone who hasn't. The same applies when you finish your PhD, you want to apply for a postdoc or an academic position. If you have been publishing as a student, you will stand out. Also look out for opportunities to attend conferences. Remember, you can't attend a conference if you haven't been making sufficient progress in your studies. So those are some of the things that I'd like to encourage you to look out for. And of course, to look out on our website and social media pages on all our fantastic reports about all the wonderful work that's happening here at Rhodes University. And hopefully in the not too long, we will see you at the monument. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mzilikazi. Just after. Thank you so much to the DVC and thank you so much to the Vice Chancellor. I know we're gonna remember that the main thing is to keep the main thing, the main thing. And as Dr. Mzilika's has addressed, that you only leave the university with the red gown. I think I lead by example as I'm waiting for my examination results. Another launch that we have today is that with regards to financial support, CPGS as well as Rhodes University SRC is also launching today a triple support, which is a pet drive, toiletries, as well as stationery for postgraduate students who are in financial need. So if you need any of those, please pop by our office in order for you to get these. Now, moving forward, I think there was a change in the program for us to have a quick presentation from the director of the Center for Postgraduate Studies, but just to alert all the other speakers to make it about 8 minutes of the presentation, because unfortunately, we're going to be having a class here at 10 to 3. Venues are difficult to book at Rhodes University. So we're trying by all means to get everyone to present. Over to you, Prof.
I was about to move around, but Neil has just told me to be static here because there's a camera right in front of me for people in Zoom. I wanted to move around because I thought standing there would make much use. Thank you so much. I wanted to stop. I was told by my team here to say, can you please stop Dr. Mzilikazi? She has taken more time. Then it reminded me of a story that we learned a long time ago about the rest that had a meeting to ensure that the cat will never catch any one of them. So they decided that the cat must have a belt. But at the end of the day, the issue was who is going to bell the cat? Who is going to go there and bell the cat so that they can survive? So none of us here could stand and bell the cat. So we stayed. But the good thing about it is that Dr. Mzilikazi has pointed out that the strategic plan, Mkombangela, is the Bible. So as she was talking, I thought, oh, we are reading from the same Bible here. Because everything that I planned to talk about is in that Bible. So she didn't waste time. And it also helps me to proceed with much speed without repeating most of the things that she has already said. Directors, managers, fellow students, managers of different portfolios. I've also noticed that there are pre-doc students who are around. I would like to welcome you this afternoon to this event that was organized by our team. So you can see I had put that. So I won't repeat on that, but it speaks about Umkombangela with vision, mission, values, and let me just double click perhaps on the vision as it relates to what we are doing today. I'm told that the guys online can't see me. So as he works with that, on the vision of the university, according to Omer, is for most the generation and advancement of locally responsive and globally engaged knowledge that seeks to create a just and sustainable society. So as postgraduate students, we don't take you to be products like the sausage factory that Dr. Mzikazi was talking about. As you are part of this Mkumbangela, you are participants to it. You are going to create knowledge that is globally engaged and relevant to our needs. And the problem with knowledge is that it is vulnerable. Any claim to knowledge is vulnerable to rejection, depending on how you research it. People can say, this is not knowledge, this is just a myth. So as postgraduate students, we need to be able to create knowledge that is sound, that is not too vulnerable to rejection. Our claims must be sustained. I want to go into that because it was touched. Okay. Perhaps let me start from there. I don't think she touched too much on that. Right, Dr. Mzikazi spoke about the difference between doctoral education and master's education. But I want to take it a little bit before that. I want to look at the distinction between postgraduate studies and undergraduate studies. This is specifically directed to people who have just started their honors program. There's a slight distinction, and an understanding of such distinction is very important for your success. There are a number of aspects that I listed there, but I won't go much into that. I'll just look at one. The first one that I want to look at is the duration. The undergraduate degree is usually long, from 3 years to 4 years. But with the postgraduate education, at times you can complete it in 1 year if it's honors. You'll notice that before you realize it, by November, you already have your degree or you have missed the train. But for doctoral degrees, it can go up to 7 years. I'm saying up to 7 years. Some people might be smiling because some go beyond that. But ideally, one should be able to complete a doctoral program in 2 years. That's allowable time. And as Rose University, our expectation for the process of research and coming up with your research project, our expectations are very high. As you can see, one of the aspects is independence. Although at undergrad, you are not so much independent, at postgraduate level, you are expected to be independent and to do your research independently. But as the Center for Postgraduate Studies, we won't leave you as independent as you should be left. Because expectations are high, we also provide scaffolds that will allow you to climb that ladder to meet the expectations. So the Center for Postgraduate Studies is not independent and is not dependent as well. It's interdependent. It works in conjunction with other departments and units that are going to present today and the whole week. I've got colleagues from the library who are going to present some of the activities that we offer as Center for Postgraduate Studies, the 7 listed here. We assist with proposal development and research design, literature review, and background research, data collection and experimentation, data analysis, writing and dissemination, completion and submission, even post-completion and also possible. I'm going to look at each one of those in turn as we proceed. The first one is proposal development. For proposal development, we offer workshops and training. You might have seen that those were other departments that we have visited. We already have lined up a number of workshops that are geared towards different phases and stages of your research. So we offer these at least once a week. And so these include research topic selection, which is a very difficult thing. to choose and develop a research title. It might sound very easy, but it's one of the most difficult parts of postgraduate studies to come up with a research. Those people are doing doctoral studies or masters might tell you that they've changed theirs 3 or 4 times because it's not an easy thing. We assist with such. We also assist with writing a clear research hypothesis and objectives. One of the earliest workshops that we are going to have this coming week is called critical reading. At postgraduate studies, you are expected to read critically. It's not just a pedestrian way of just sitting in and acquiring information from the textbook, but we need to look at it critically and engage with the content that you read. We offer such workshops. We also offer ethics in research and gaining ethics approval. One of the most important aspect that we do that is critical for research is literature review and background search. At the moment, there are a number of softwares that are used to do literature review. My colleague here is an expert in the use of AI in literature review. I think I must emphasize that the ethical use of AI, is that correct? Correct. Yeah. So he will offer a workshop on that. So we offer you such things, and they are actually for free. I hope I'm doing well with time before Asipe looks at me. We also did. Sorry. Did you hear that? No, that's fine. I never complain. I think we offer data analysis using different softwares. And in most of these things, the workshops are free of charge. You don't pay anything over and above your school fees. So it's not something that you can fear and say, I won't be able to afford it. Let me quickly go to this. I think it's the time to solidify everything in one slide. We offer a postgraduate conference that comes in September. This is a paid-for conference, and it's very important for any postgraduate student. The Vice Chancellor was talking about publishing 2 papers, 3 papers. One of the things that funders look for whenever you are applying and whenever looking at the NRF applications is to see how many conference presentations have you made during your studies, honors, masters, and just putting that I attended and presented at postgraduate conference at Rhodes University will give you 5 points. So don't leave that to say it's not worthwhile. It's actually very important for your CV. I've talked about workshops. We have over 30 workshops, and we have well sought after writing retreats where you go out for 4 to 5 days away from the main crowd, just focusing on studying. Then perhaps the other thing that I might want to talk about is the short courses, 7 short courses. Are they still 7 or 8 now? 7, yeah. 8, 10. Oh, they're now 10. So this was last year. We are offering 10 short courses, and these are free for students and staff from the university. External participants usually pay not anything less than 30,000. So don't lose an opportunity to attend these workshops. Already we've lined up these. I think this was shared through our CPGS mailing list. You need to consult it and see what you can attend, or what you have to attend, and also what you can offer. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for listening, and I wish I could have question and answer for those who want to get more information, but our offices are very close, GLT building, yeah, and our contact details are also available, but we are still around. We can engage with us during this time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prof. We are now going to move over to the library services. They'll just be giving us a brief intro about the services they have, because we have a full presentation, a workshop with them, which is part of the Postgrad orientation program. We will share that with you, but if you are in our mailing list, you would have already received that information about the workshops that are happening during the orientation program. We will do a Q&A at the end if we have time. However, our evaluation form that we're going to display on screen does have an option for you to do suggestions. So you can also write your questions, especially to the DVC and the VC, and we'll send them to their offices and populate that in our mailing list.
This. Online course.
Good afternoon. Wish to all the Vice Chancellor and the DVC they are on, which is a good thing. It's one thing to speak to an audience of this nature, it's another thing to speak before your line manager, the DVC. So it's a good thing that she has left. But I'm not alone. My name is Nomawetu Danster, and I'm the Director of Library and Information Services here at Rhodes University. I'm with my colleagues here, Samuel Simango, who will be taking a bigger portion of the time today. And I've got Katu Paziri. She's seated there at the back. She's our real scholarly communication and postgraduate librarian. Because of the program, I've been put as scholarly communication and postgraduate librarian. So we swapped the roles. And we've got next to her Debbie Matunde, our digital scholarship principal librarian. I'm not sure if there's somebody else that has not introduced it from the library colleagues. Pardon me for that. So colleagues, I'm going to be quick in my presentation because I want to give Mr. Simango the better time of this. Okay. Why does it look like that? Why does it have all those things? Perhaps first he's taking care of that. I just want to greet our virtual audience, if the virtual audience is still with us. And I know that from the virtual audience, Mr. Wynand van der Walt, who's a senior manager, collections, systems, and innovation, but he's watching us from the remote access. Okay, so this is gonna be very brief, colleagues and fellow students. That would be the outline of my presentation. Okay, just to say we are co-presenting. The part one is the overview of the library services.
but those services that pertain to postgraduate students. And then part 2 will be scholarly communication. I was just asking myself these questions. When we think of a university library, what do you think of? Do you think of a study space for undergraduate students? Do you think of a physical space that houses books, journals? And if that ticks is a tick for you, you must let me know. Do you think of a service that provides digital access to academic resources? Do you think of an active partner in research and teaching? Or do you think of a place or space for collaborative learning, discussions, and innovations? And the rest, which one would you tick if you were to score some marks today? All of the above. Who got it correctly? All of the above. I know that there's a tendency to think that the library is just a study space that has got books and all that, but it's all of the above and even more. But within the confinement of today's presentation, I cannot give you everything that we're all about. But in one sentence, we're an academic support service and partner that prides itself on providing optimum access to diverse, quality and contextual learning and research collections. So note the collections because there's a learning resources. We also provide services. We also provide skills programs. We also provide facilities and the technology infrastructure, all in support of the academic project. So the next time when somebody asks you, then you know. We are strategically aligned to the IDP, so I'm not going to talk much to the IDP because much has been said this morning. I just want to flesh those 8 goals and to say, as the library, when we were developing our strategic plan, we reflected on all those goals and could fit where we think we are most appropriate or suitable to provide an academic support service. But I think what also motivated us most as we were putting together our strategy are those graduate attributes that you can see there. The students are expected to leave the university with these graduate attributes, and this talk to us. If you talk of lifelong learner, we talk of ethical leadership, digital competency, innovation, all those critical and engaged citizens. They speak to all the activities and projects that we are offering as the library. So be on the lookout. Yeah, those are the graduate attributes. Okay. This is a strategy alignment. As you can see that in the middle of that map, we have, for example, teaching and learning. Sorry, sometimes my eyes fail me. We've got a research support, these are all the activities that are involved with research support. In terms of teaching and learning, these are all the activities or the key performance areas. But again, we do have an underpinning support service, which is manifested in strategies, in policies, and governance documents. We are also underpinned by the concept of digital transformation. In everything we do, we are permeated or influenced by the digital transformation. As a result, we are one of the leaders of the digital transformation strategy on campus. But most importantly is the goal or the outcome. The outcome, everything we do, we want to see a positive user experience or an enhanced user experience. So we'll be conducting some surveys to make sure that that user experience. Okay, so here, these are the services. I just put the library website there. Okay, maybe perhaps what I need to highlight is that my presentation is full of links because I'm gonna leave it with the CPGS and they will share it with you. So at your own time, in the comfort of your own room, you can go through the presentation, make sure that you understand what is going on. We provide off-campus access. These are all the learning resources. It's a pity that this slide is failing me. Up there, there's a heading on learning resources there that is hiding, but anyway. So you can see that we provide resources that are curriculum aligned. We don't just buy something that is written in Spanish unless there's an offering here on campus that is Spanish studies. So everything that we collect in the library is aligned to the academic programs. So if as a postgraduate student, you will need journals, because remember, the journals are peer reviewed, the journals are quality assured and all that. So you will need access to journals, there you go. You will need access through Google Scholar and other discovery tools. This is one important area that I want to make emphasis on. These are roles, theses, and dissertations. The students were your predecessors. They've written thesis, and we've got all those theses online, freely accessible. I'm not saying do copy and paste, but in doing your literature reviews, in searching for your methodologies, you can consult on those who were before you in conducting the experience, especially with a subject discipline research. You might want to get thesis for bioscience. If you're doing bioscience, then it's all there. And it's not only this. All South African higher education libraries have put this type of knowledge on the web. So you go to University of Pretoria, their library, they've got all their theses. You go to UCT, and they are all freely accessible. So there's no way to do your PhD in 7 years when there is already people who have done such a good work that you can use as a reference. The rest you'll get to know, but it's important to know the newspapers, the information, and the current awareness newspapers. There are also print books and online books. So everything is there. From the comfort of your own room, you can have all the resources you want. Also, if you don't get what you want from our library, we get what you want from other libraries in South Africa through the interlibrary loan. We are a part of that consortium, and we are sharing the resources. Also, remember, you can recommend a purchase. Say you see that there's something so important that is not there. Academics and students and postgraduate students can recommend a purchase. Okay, those are the online support. This is research support. I don't think this thing is not. This is research support. We provide our services online. We've got a hybrid service. There are services that we provide on campus, but most of our services, you'll find them online. Go to those online tutorials. There is a postgraduate online video there that will help you. The guide to Rhodes University Libraries. It's a very comprehensive guide that will give you everything you need to know as a first year student or academic at Rhodes University. Very important, the LEAP guides. They'll be used by our librarians when they are training, offering good training, but they are there on the net. LEAP answers, I thought I love this one because the type of questions we've been receiving, the network, okay. The type of questions we've been receiving, they are all AI related, Neil. So you've got somebody else who's also working on AI integration. So there are answers, questions and answers. This is the way you chat to us. Do I know how to go back to my slides? No. Okay, here. No, man. How did I find myself here? Oh, yes, I wanted to show you the questions we get on AI, generative AI, because there is a serious challenge with the use of generative AI in today's. I was told by one person that, I finished my degree, I finished my thesis, PhD thesis in 2 months, and I submitted it and I made it. All because I used generative AI. The danger of doing that is that the information that you will get on ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever needs to be verified, needs to be quality assured. And that is why we are providing those databases, which are journals, which are peer reviewed, which are referenced so well, which are scholarly in nature. So if you're gonna use ChatGPT, you might find that you are downloading a lot of garbage. Most of it is not garbage, but you need to map it against literature, you know. So this is what librarians can also assist you in doing. Okay. We've got the research data under our Figshare platform. And if you want to see the research data of the research that has been completed before and that is available, then you can go to that. Specialized research support. Soon after me, Mr. Samuel will talk about scholarly communication and digital scholarship services. Again, I've just decided to put the institutional repositories once more so that you get quicker to the theses and dissertations that are published on our website. Everything else might come later in life, like transformative agreements. You need an ORCID profile, and I think Katu is there. She's very good in generating and helping you with ORC ideas. Okay. We provide spaces, learning environments, and all those spaces. There's a postgraduate commons, which is just for you. And there's a 24-hour study facility, group rooms, presentation rooms, everything that you need. Thank you so much. This is the end of part 1. The next one is the most important, scholarly communication. This is what they came here for.
I think what we're gonna do is that on the workshop, the 25th, you can present, because we've got other presentations and others are even going to be postponed due to the time, because there's literally another class that's coming in now at 10 to 3, and we've asked them to move it to a smaller venue and they did not agree. So if you can have the PG funding office as well as NES to come stand for their presentation. PG funding office, if you can have a quick presentation from them, as well as NES. I am still trying to think on my feet to see what we can do for other presentations, because this information is very important.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mabisa Kwasana. I and my colleague here, Sibutuso Mangeba, will be representing the Postgraduate Funding Office.
Oh, did you email it?
Okay, whilst my colleague is still trying to find the presentation, let me start because of time. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna touch bases on what funding opportunities we have. I see a lot of familiar faces. So, you know my rule. I always say apply, 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 apply for everything. Everything means, even if you think that you're not gonna come back next year, apply. You never know. Okay? I don't want you to come crying and then you want me to find funding and then I don't have funding. And then I sit there with you and I don't want to make empty promises. So what happens is that we've got internal and external funding opportunities. So what happens is for the internal opportunities, we always advertise around July. So the ones that normally come to the office, you know that we have RUPG. So RUPG is one of our prestigious scholarships. So there's RUPG, under RUPG, Henderson, and the last one, Livingston. So what happens, most students get, I think mixed up. So RUPG, we have funding for RUPG, and then we have funding for Ellen grade, even though they are under Ellen grade, that is fine. You don't come back. RUPG, I applied for Ellen grade. So as long as in your application you stated that it's Henderson, it's fine. You don't have to come back and say it's RUPG. And then what the requirements for the funding is 65% and above. So for RUPG, Ellen grade, Henderson, what we look for is academics. So what needs to happen is that you need to do very well in your academics, né? And then depending on the budget as well. So if maybe there is enough budget for Ellen grade, we will get around about maybe 10 students to fund. But if there isn't a lot of budget, then which means that we have to minimize the number of students that we have to award. So what happens is that students will come and on 75 want to get funding. Whereas it's budget constraints that made us limit the number of students that we had to award. It's not that you didn't do well, you didn't meet the minimum requirements, but then we had to just take a number of certain students to award the bursary. And then when it comes to Livingston is not really focused on academics, but it's focused more on financially needy students. But we also do look at academics, but we don't concentrate on academics. But you have to do well. So from 65% and above, you can apply, but you must bear in mind that you have to meet the requirements. So you need to put in all those documents that actually show that you are a financially needy student. Yeah, you get it? Sorry. And then what else? Then there's external funding. External funding, we have NRF, which I will talk about. And then we have AB Baby, which is another one that students can apply for. So what happens is that for AB Baby, we mostly advertise it now in April. So you have to be academically good in that. And what happens is that you travel overseas, you go and study abroad, and then there's also Flanagan. Flanagan is mostly, it targets female students. So your master's, your PhD female students, we don't get a lot of RU applications for that. And we would like to get more of the RU female students that we've got. Dr. Giovanni was one of our students to travel abroad for planning to study overseas. So I would encourage all the female students to actually apply for that. We usually advertise sometime in October, round about October, yes. I don't want to dwell a lot because of time, but we are at the Truro House, just behind Eden Grove. So if you've got any questions, you can go to our offices. We open between 8 and 1:45. And guys, we are strict on time, because if we open our doors after that time, which means that we are not able to do the admin that we have to do to deliver all that we have to do for you guys. Remember, the VC said we are here for you. So we want to deliver whatever it is that we need to do, like, for example, your allowances and everything else that we need to do, that is administration. So from 8 until 1:45, you are ours and we are yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Okay, sorry about that. Technology. Okay, so I will be telling you more about the NRF. Do we have any honor students here? Okay, so with NRF, it is our main funder because it offers funding opportunities for honors, masters, and PhD. However, there's an eligibility criteria that students need to follow in order for them to be able to apply or to be eligible to receive the funding. And NRF is very strict on that. And with the honors applicants, we see that we have noticed that there are issues with them applying. There are some of the things that they don't read through the framework. To an extent that this year we will be having a workshop on supporting you guys on how to apply for next year. And then let's get on to masters and PhD, right? So when you're applying for NRF, okay, let me just start with the students who are continuing students, masters, or if you are in your PhD 2 or even 3. Please ensure that you do submit your progress report, 1, so that the NRF can release your funds. Or if you're doing your PhD 3, but then you haven't submitted since it's your final year, please note that it's compulsory that you submit the progress report because you may want to apply for a postdoc. And then moving on to the masters. So if you are wanting to apply for an NRF for your master's degree, please ensure that you are 28 years at the age of that final of this year, and then ensure that your average of your previous degree is 65% or more. And then there's an issue of full cost funding and partial cost funding. NRF offers full cost funding to students who are academic achievers, that is your 75% or more, or if you were previously funded by NSFAS. However, it depends if the budget allows them. And then for partial costs, if you're 65% and 74%. Also, please note that you may be awarded full cost, but then if your final mark is less than that, is less than 75, we will have to adjust it to short cost. So same applies to PhD. In order for you to be eligible to apply for NRF, when you're applying for a PhD, you need to be 30 years at the end of this year, right? Yes. So if you have any more questions, please don't hesitate to send me an email or visit our office during the consultation times. Thank you.
My one, they are short slides.
Very short.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. All protocol observed. For the sake of time, guys, I won't be lost. My name is Tolega Ponga, and Local and Emerging Scholars Program Project Manager, which is based at CPGS building, but it's under the Shackle Department. So I won't be long. I'm just gonna be quick for the sake of time. Where's the remote? Can you just put it on a red mode? Because I want to yes. Just go through it. I can't find the red mode so that you can see. Yes. That's one to see. Did you do that? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So about next program, this program is funded by the Department of Higher Education and Training. It was born in the midst of COVID-19, and it's the first step in the academic pipeline of the UCP National-led Collaboration Projects. So its vision is to develop the future academics for a transforming sector. So we are just revitalizing and transforming the academic profession. What are the NERS requirements? In order for you to be part of this program, a minimum average of 65% attain the level 7 qualification in order for you to enroll for honors, and also an NUF level 8 qualification for the masters, meaning that we offering this scholarship starting at honors level, and if you start at honors level, it means you have to progress to masters. So for honors program, it is a 4-year program, 1 year for honors that you are going to enroll for, and then 3 years. In that 3 years is 2 studies for masters and 1 internship program. If you have already have honors degrees, it means you have to pursue on masters. Masters is a 3-year program, 2 years and 1 year internship. You should be at the age of 35 or under in order to be part of this program and be a South African or a permanent resident status. So what does this scholarship include? That's what I've already said. It has honors at master's level. That's where you will enroll for. At master's level, you can do it at any public university in South Africa, also international. We have partners with France, so you can go and study there. For international scholarship, which is at France, you have to pursue career on STEM career, that is anything that has to do with science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It is a fully funded scholarship, so we fund everything from your accommodation, your scholarship, everything. A mentor will be provided while you are at the program, and also once you are done with all your masters, you have to come back and do your academic internship at your host university. So if you were in France, that 1 year you come back and do your 1 year program for internship. If you are studying locally, you have to study that two year in masters and the internship program. So that's how the program runs. So for any information that you have to or questions, please take my email address. And as I've already said, you are based at Center for Postgrad Studies building. You can pop in at 502 room. We have an offices there for any information. We have already have an advertisement that was running for this program, but unfortunately it has closed last week. But there are other opportunities that will come before the end of this year. Please be on the lookout. will definitely inform you once everything has been advertised so that you can pursue your careers. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for both the presentations from NESP as well as from PG Funding Office. Our last presentation for today will come from Dr. Tsidi, and then I'll explain to you after the presentation how we're going to go about with the other presentations that we're supposed to happen today. Over to you, Liz. It's actually Prof.
Good afternoon. I think being the last speaker, you have been listening attentively. So I would like to take you through the journey where beyond your studies, what's next? You've been in postgrad and you've done, so what I would like to support and suggest is, I'm speaking here on 1 in 3 and I've got 3 minutes, so it's exactly 3 minutes that I have. Entrepreneurship, innovation, and employability. That's the journey that you could take while you are beyond this. In terms of entrepreneurship, we're saying that when you start looking at, after I've done and I've completed my studies, what do I do with my postgrad studies? You have an opportunity of being an employer. And with being an employer, it simply means with the knowledge, because you've already created knowledge while you are here, the knowledge that you've gained while you are here, you have an opportunity of starting a business. And we are here to support you while you are moving towards that. Secondly is with the innovation. So we start looking in terms of the research that you're doing, we can actually start looking, can I commercialize the knowledge that I have and start something about it? And commercializing that, you have an opportunity of developing a spin-out company that could actually be where you will be an employer. But also in that space, you have an opportunity of looking in terms of, this is a stepping stone for me to create jobs for other students that are already here with my PhD, with my master's program, and more of the businesses that I develop by students that have got masters are more sustainable than those businesses that are developed by those with an undergrad. So you have an opportunity. We've got Steve Biko Center for Entrepreneurship, where we could take you through. My colleague was here, who is the tech transfer manager, would also help you to register an innovation and actually develop an IP for. It's not only for STEM studies, it is commercialization for all those creatives that are here, for all those humanities students that are here. You have an opportunity to start a business. And in that way, you become an employer or somebody that creates employment. And that is my 3 minutes, that is that. I hope that makes sense that you can look at the page.
Thank you so much, Prof. At CPGS, we have something called hashtag 3-minute thesis, and I think Prof has won it from today's presentation. So now we are ending the session. Just before ending the session, I think Prof wants to say something. Okay, so we are a busy office, and unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, but we are also a small staff. We are about 6 of us, so there's a lot of things that are happening. And to such a point, we even forget about announcing some, and Prof was telling me about one opportunity that's coming by. So very soon, today, if not tomorrow, we are going to issue a call for a 3-minute thesis competition. So this competition is a sign-out competition. It's different from the one you won. So in this 3-minute thesis, it is open for PhD students or actually like candidates. So it is, but even though they say you become a candidate if you're already on the proposal through politics of academia. So that is the competition that we're having. The winner here is going to be submitted to Synod. If they are selected in Synod, they're going to Denmark, right? Yes, so it's an international one and there's good prizes to be won. So what is the question? Okay, very good. So see, a lot of opportunities come to our office. This one is for Synod. Our internal one is coming. So this one is for PhDs, our internal one is coming, and the internal PhDs, two of them, they go and represent us at the University of Free State on the national one. That one has got internal prizes. Even that one, we're gonna launch it very soon. So there is that one, look bad. It's for honors, even honors, masters, PhDs, the one for internal. Moving from that, please don't forget, we do have the triple support, the boxes. So if you have anything to donate, please just come in front before leaving so that you can donate here. If you need any of these donations, starting from today, please be in contact with your PG SRC rep. So he is the one who's representing you and your needs, your complaints, as well as your suggestions in all of the offices that presented here today, right? Okay. So you might have realized that there were presentations that we didn't get to because of time. So on Wednesday, if you saw my communication on the CPGS mailing list, we were supposed to have how to manage a supervisor, which I was going to facilitate. So that Wednesday, we will still have a session for about 10-15 minutes on that. And then every person that did not present today will present it on Wednesday. Next. So I will send out a communication with regards to that. Am I forgetting? Okay, so we do have packed lunches outside for you guys to take home, as well as I think we still do have bags for those who did not receive bags. But from my side to everyone, thank you very much for coming here, and to the presenters that presented today. I am realizing now, please be seated. I am realizing now that in actual fact, we had invited big guns to share a short space of time, because every single office that is here today was an office that you guys needed to hear from, which is why we are allowing them more time to continue their presentations on Wednesday, and we are going to send you the presentations that they did today. If you are not on our mailing list, so that you don't miss out on anything, please email cpgs@ru.ac.za, cpgs@ru.ac.za, and your subject line must be, please add me to your mailing list. They are available on social media, and as you are leaving, if you can also scan the QR code that will be showing here to evaluate this workshop, but don't worry about it. When I'm sending you slides, I'm also going to send you an evaluation link so that you can evaluate this workshop. Thank you, Prof, to the Director of CPGS for making this happen. And thank you very much to Neil for the tech support and the SRC who came out in numbers. Please do join me by having a late lunch outside, and take the packs and move so that we can allow the class that's going to be here to happen. Thank you so much.
I don't think so.
Should we take it to the office? Let's just take it to the office. I gave you love present, so we didn't. So you want to
Well, thank you so much for everyone online. Have a good day. We are now closing the session. And as communicated, the other presentations, you will have them on Wednesday. So instead of having how to manage your supervisor on Wednesday, we will be having other presentations about postgraduate support. And if we have time, we're going to go through a supervision agreement. But if not, we're going to move it to the following week. Have a great afternoon and thank you for joining us.